They thought it was over. They thought you were finished. They thought the weight of shame, silence, and hidden defeat had buried you for good. But what they could not see was the deeper truth. You were never buried. You were planted. While they whispered your downfall, heaven was writing your comeback. In the unseen, roots were forming. In the quiet, strength was being forged. In the silence, your foundation was growing deeper than anyone around you could imagine. They confused your stillness with surrender, but God was not done. The ground that looked like a grave was actually the womb of your next season. What is rising now will not appear in shadows. It will not be hidden in corners. It will not be whispered in secrecy. It will be seen. It will be undeniable. It will be witnessed by the same eyes that watched you fall. And it will not be revenge. It will be revelation. It will not come to humiliate. It will come to demonstrate that the hand of God was upon you all along. And when it happens, the shock will not only silence critics, it will echo through your family, shaking their expectations, rewriting their perception of who you are, and leaving them speechless in awe of what heaven has done. This is your divine reversal. This is your moment where the planted seed breaks through the soil and becomes impossible to ignore.
If you are hearing this, it is not by accident. The same power that lifted you to this moment is preparing to lift you higher. And when it does, your entire household will know God was always with you. If this word is stirring in your spirit, make sure you press like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment 99 below as a prophetic sign that though you were pressed on every side, heaven is about to multiply what was planted in you.
There are seasons when heaven deliberately pulls you into the shadows. Times when the noise around you dies down, when the spotlight fades, when your voice is no longer echoed in the circles that once praised you. And those who only know how to judge by appearances begin to whisper, "It's over." They saw your stillness and assumed you were stuck. They saw your waiting and labeled it as weakness. They saw your absence and concluded it was defeat. What they could not discern is that silence in the kingdom is never a funeral. It is formation. It is the training ground of the chosen, the sacred chamber where warriors are built in secret. In those quiet nights when no one clapped, God was sharpening your discernment. In the hours where your prayers seemed unanswered, He was teaching your spirit to recognize His whisper above every other voice. While people thought you were sitting in nothingness, heaven was writing blueprints for your next assignment. You were not stuck, you were being stretched. You were not idle, you were being refined. The silence was not a sign of death. It was the echo of preparation. And here lies the mystery. Silence exposes the shallow, but empowers the surrendered. Those who only chase applause cannot survive obscurity, but those who are chosen learn to bloom in it. You learn to trust without evidence, to believe without validation, to keep walking when the path was unseen. That is why the silence was never wasted. It was the furnace where impurities burned away. It was the soil where your roots went deeper than storms could reach. It was the cocoon where the version of you that is about to emerge was being shaped by unseen hands. Think about it. If the world had applauded you in that season, you might have settled for recognition instead of transformation. If doors had opened too quickly, you might have leaned on human platforms instead of divine purpose. If people had celebrated you early, they might have stolen glory that only God deserves. That is why silence was not punishment. It was protection. It was the hiding place where God made sure no voice, no critic, and no premature opportunity could interfere with the masterpiece He was forming in you. And now, the irony is about to unfold. The same people who mocked your silence will be forced to confront the power that silence produced. They thought quietness meant you were forgotten, but it was in the quiet that God was engraving His signature on your life. They thought absence meant you were erased, but it was in the absence that heaven was marking you with presence. They thought waiting meant you were weak, but it was in the waiting that strength unshakable was born. Understand this. Every misunderstood season was a rehearsal for what is about to be revealed. They cannot comprehend why your faith didn't break, why your spirit didn't collapse, why your light didn't fade. It's because silence did not kill you. It crowned you. The misjudged pause was heaven's strategy to make sure when the unveiling happens, no one will be able to deny that the glory is divine. And the greatest shock? The revelation of what was built in silence will not only surprise strangers, it will leave even your family stunned, because they thought they knew you, but they never saw the version God was creating behind closed doors. And now the question hangs in the air. If silence produced this much power, what will the unveiling look like when heaven finally says, "Now"? That, chosen one, is the mystery about to unfold before their eyes. And you will not miss it. Every chosen one must walk through a battlefield that no one else sees. Not the stage, not the public eye, not the applause of men, but the hidden arena where only God and your spirit wrestle in silence. This is where your destiny was forged. Every tear that fell when you thought no one noticed was not wasted. It was a seed watered by heaven itself. Each cry in the midnight hours, each whispered prayer that you thought vanished into the dark, each moment where your strength failed, but you chose to kneel instead of surrender, all of it was divine training. While the world looked for evidence of collapse, heaven was keeping record of your persistence. People thought you were losing, but in reality, you were learning. They thought you were abandoned, but you were being instructed. Every fiery trial was a classroom. Every heartbreak was a lesson. Every storm was a textbook written in tears. And though no certificate was handed to you, the Spirit Himself was engraving authority into your soul. This is why what is about to be revealed cannot be denied, because it was not learned in human systems. It was imparted by divine strategy. You prayed when no one clapped. You poured out your soul when no one celebrated. You served when there was no recognition, no spotlight, no handshakes waiting for you at the door. And that obedience, that hidden loyalty, that refusal to quit when nobody saw value in your work, this has now become unstoppable power. Because what is born in obscurity cannot be destroyed by exposure. What is trained in darkness cannot be undone in the light. Think of it like this. The tree that grows tallest is the one whose roots went deepest underground first. No one applauded your roots. No one praised your hidden battles. But while others sought to impress, you chose to endure. While others were chasing visibility, you were being equipped in invisibility. And that is why the weight of what is coming upon your life is greater than what anyone expected. Because the foundation has already been tested in silence. You see, God does not anoint the platform, He anoints the person. And He only trusts with public authority those who proved faithful in private surrender. That is why your story is dangerous to the enemy. Because you have victories no one witnessed, scars no one can explain, testimonies that never made it to social media. And those hidden triumphs have made you unshakable. You know what it is to win battles with trembling hands. You know what it is to keep praising with a broken heart. You know what it is to stand in storms with no umbrella, but the presence of God Himself. And now, the stage is shifting. Those unseen rehearsals were not wasted moments. They were preparations for a public unveiling. The tears became oil, the wounds became wisdom, the lonely nights became your spiritual credentials. And when the world finally sees you rise, they will have no idea how deep the preparation went. They will only see the fruit, never knowing the roots. They will only see the glory, never understanding the grind. They will only see the resurrection, never realizing how many times you almost died in silence. But heaven knows. Heaven was there in every training session, in every moment you felt invisible. Heaven was your audience when earth turned away. And now that same heaven is preparing to broadcast what was hidden, to transform private battles into public victories. This is why your life will confuse those who thought they understood you. They will wonder, where did this strength come from? How did this authority appear overnight? But you will know, it was never overnight. It was the secret training ground. It was the hand of God shaping you when no one else cared to look. And here lies the divine tension. The very pain that almost broke you is the proof that now sustains you. The very isolation that tried to crush you is the anointing that now crowns you. The very moments you thought were wasted are about to be displayed as evidence that nothing surrendered to God is ever lost. Every hidden rehearsal was a prophecy in disguise, and now the curtain is about to rise. But what heaven has been preparing behind it will leave every voice silent in awe. So the question is no longer, why was I hidden? The real question now is, what is about to be revealed? And that chosen one is the suspense the Spirit wants you to carry, because the unveiling is near, and when it happens, even your family will not be able to explain the weight of the glory on your life. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when heaven interrupts the narrative written by men. A moment when what was declared as your ending suddenly becomes the prelude to your elevation. That moment, chosen one, is here. This is the season of reversal. The pit that was meant to bury you becomes the very ground from which your authority rises. The prison that confined you becomes the platform of your preparation. The stone that was rejected, laughed at, pushed aside, is about to become the cornerstone. The forgotten one, the dismissed one, the one they said would never rise again, becomes the very evidence of God's undeniable power. This is not a poetic metaphor, it is a divine principle. Throughout history, God has specialized in flipping the script. Joseph was thrown into a pit by his brothers, but the same brothers had to bow before him in a palace. Esther was an orphan, hidden and unseen, but she was crowned queen and became the instrument of national deliverance. David was overlooked, dismissed as too small, too insignificant, yet he was anointed king while others watched in shock. And now, it is your turn. Your reversal has already been set in motion. Every lie spoken against you will serve as the backdrop of truth. Every betrayal will become the soil of your promotion. Every season of invisibility will suddenly make sense when the light reveals what was built in secret. They said, "It's over." But God whispers, "It's only the beginning." They thought they closed the door, but God is about to show that He alone holds the keys. The very mouths that mocked your silence, that gossiped about your delay, will be silenced. Not by your arguments, not by your defense, but by the undeniable evidence of God's hand on your life. Imagine this. The same voices that once said, "He'll never recover," will be forced to say, "Only God could have done this." The same eyes that watched for your collapse will now watch your coronation. The same family members who doubted your calling will witness miracles flowing through your hands. This reversal is not just about you being lifted up. It is about heaven revealing its authority through your story. God does not reverse to entertain men. He reverses to demonstrate His sovereignty. But here's the mystery. This reversal will not happen gradually in a way they can explain. It will be sudden, accelerated, shocking. It will break the rhythm of logic and dismantle the timeline of doubt. What took years to decay will be restored in days. What was denied for decades will be released in a moment. It will be so dramatic that those around you will not have time to process. They will only stand in awe. That is why your reversal will not be private. It will be public, undeniable, in the sight of those who whispered, "It's finished." And the weight of this reversal will ripple through your bloodline. It will not only silence your critics, but also heal generational wounds. Where there was shame, honor will flow. Where there was lack, abundance will spring forth. Where there was barrenness, fruitfulness will overflow. Your story will not just speak to your life, it will rewrite the expectation of those connected to you. That is why this next season will shock not only your enemies, but your entire family. They thought they knew your trajectory. They thought they had measured your limits. But what is about to happen will leave them speechless, because God's script was never written in the ink of man's opinion. So let this truth anchor deep in your spirit. The pit is not your grave, it is your gateway. The rejection was not your disqualification, it was your preservation. The whispers of defeat, will soon become the soundtrack of your unveiling. The great reversal is not coming. It has already begun. And when the curtain rises, when heaven unveils what has been hidden, the shock will be so complete that the very ones who buried you with words will find themselves silenced by the weight of glory revealed in your life. And here's the question that lingers like a flame in the night. If the pit could not stop you, if the rejection could not break you, if the silence could not erase you, what force on earth will be able to contain you when heaven declares, "Now"? The answer is clear. Nothing. And that realization is what will hold every eye fixed on your next chapter. There are moments in life when transformation is so drastic, so undeniable, that even those who thought they knew you are left speechless. This, chosen one, is one of those moments. What is coming upon you will not be small. It will not be subtle. It will not be hidden in secrecy. It will not be whispered behind closed doors. It will be so loud, so visible, so unexplainable that even your family, the ones who saw your pain but never your prayers, the ones who witnessed your tears but never discerned your intercession, will stand in awe of what heaven has unleashed over your life. For years, they measured you by the fragments they could see. They saw the exhaustion, but not the endurance. They saw the struggle, but not the strategy. They saw the mistakes, but not the midnight repentance. They saw the silence, but not the surrender. They drew conclusions about your life using incomplete evidence, assuming that the valley was your destination, that the trial was your identity, that the setback was your definition. And now God is about to confront every misjudgment, not with arguments, not with explanations, but with revelation so radiant it cannot be denied. Picture it. The same relatives who quietly dismissed you at family tables will have no choice but to honor what God is doing through you. The same siblings or cousins who shook their heads and thought you were chasing empty dreams will be forced to say, "This is real. This is God." The same parents who worried in silence about your future will watch doors open that no resume, no degree, no human favor could ever produce. What's coming is not just breakthrough, it is a shockwave. It will ripple through bloodlines, shaking generational patterns, rewriting family narratives, and proving that God can raise a voice, a leader, a warrior, from the very place others thought nothing good could emerge. And here lies the divine irony. Those closest to you often see your humanity so clearly that they overlook your destiny. They saw your tears, but not your covenant. They judged your weakness, but not your warfare. They knew your past, but not your prophecy. And that is why this next move will shock them most. It will reveal dimensions of you they never imagined existed. Not because you were hiding them, but because God had reserved them for this unveiling. The shockwave will not just come through success, it will come through transformation. They will see the same person, yet not the same at all. They will sense authority in your words, light in your presence, fire in your spirit. They will recognize that you are no longer who you were, and yet more yourself than ever before. And this recognition will silence questions, dissolve doubts, and create awe, because they will know it could only be God. This is why you endured ridicule, misunderstanding, even distance from those who should have supported you. God needed them to underestimate you, so the revelation would strike deeper when it came. He needed them to see you broken, so when they see you whole, they will understand the contrast. He needed them to watch you in defeat, so when they see you victorious, they will acknowledge the hand of heaven. It is not cruelty, it is choreography. Every misunderstanding has prepared the stage for the unveiling, and this unveiling will do more than vindicate you. It will plant seeds of faith in your household. It will awaken those who laughed at your devotion. It will stir those who thought prayer was useless. It will move those who believed your story was over to realize their own stories are still being written. Your transformation will become a mirror through which they see God's mercy and power reflected. But let this be clear. The shockwave is not about revenge. It is about revelation. It is not about proving them wrong. It is about proving God right. And when it hits, when the undeniable unfolds, when they see the evidence before their eyes, the family that once doubted will be left with only one confession: "This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes." And so, chosen one, the suspense builds.
If your friends, your critics, and your enemies will already be silenced by what is coming, how much more powerful will it be when even your own family, the ones who thought they knew the ending of your story, are stunned by the next chapter? That, right there, is the moment heaven has been preparing. And it is closer than you think. What is coming to your life is not merely a moment of vindication, it is the birth of a legacy. Vindication satisfies the present, but legacy transforms the future.
God is not simply lifting you so you can say, "I made it." He is lifting you so that generations connected to you can walk in a freedom they never imagined. This is why the resurrection over your life will not stop at your name, your house, or your story. It will overflow. It will spill into your children, your children's children, and even those connected to your bloodline who never prayed a prayer yet will eat the fruit of your intercession. Generational curses that ran through your family for decades are about to be broken in one moment of divine interruption. Cycles that kept repeating, poverty, brokenness, silence, addiction, betrayal, will meet their end at the altar of your obedience. You have become the turning point, the hinge on which the door of your family's future swings. The battles you fought in private were never only about you. They were about securing an inheritance of victory for those who will come after you. And that is why your resurrection carries a weight that cannot be measured by applause or recognition. It is heaven's strategy to rewire the DNA of your entire bloodline. Think of it. The doors that were shut to your grandparents, the opportunities your parents never received, the blessings your siblings thought were impossible. God is about to swing them wide open through you. What felt like decades of delay will suddenly collapse under the speed of divine acceleration. The shock will not just be that you made it. It will be that the entire family will feel the impact of your breakthrough. They will see scholarships unlocked, marriages restored, finances elevated, ministries birthed, businesses ignited, and faith resurrected, not because of human effort, but because heaven chose one in the bloodline to carry the key. And that one is you. This is why the weight of your suffering was so heavy, because the glory that is about to be revealed is generational. The enemy was not only trying to silence you, he was trying to silence the future voices that would rise from your lineage. He was not only fighting your dreams, he was fighting the dreams of your children, your nieces, your nephews, the unborn generations destined to carry the mantle you are about to step into. That is why the warfare felt unfair. That is why the attacks seemed excessive. Because the enemy saw the seed of legacy in you before you could see it in yourself. But what he underestimated was that every attack became fuel for an even greater breakthrough. And now, your survival has become the foundation for their success. Your tears have become the rain for their harvest. Your battles have become the blueprint for their victories. You are becoming the evidence to your entire family that God does not simply restore, he multiplies. That is why this season is not about personal gain, but about prophetic inheritance. The shock they feel when they see you rise will not fade. It will echo through generations as a story they cannot stop telling. We thought it ended with them, but God used them to rewrite everything. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of this resurrection. Your rise will shift atmospheres, rewrite histories, and reset expectations. Relatives who doubted will witness blessings flowing into their own homes because of the covenant God established with you. Children yet unborn will carry your name with honor, walking in paths you carved with your obedience. The shame that hovered over your family name will be replaced with a mantle of glory. The laughter of mockery will be silenced by the laughter of joy that fills your household. And this is the most powerful part. Your resurrection will not only speak of survival, it will declare destiny. It will announce to heaven, earth, and hell itself that your bloodline belongs to God. No curse will outlive his promise. No cycle will override his covenant. No chain will withstand the fire that is flowing through your spirit. And long after your enemies forget your name, your family will still be walking in the overflow of your yes to God. So now, chosen one, as heaven prepares to crown you publicly, understand this. What is rising is not just your victory, it is your legacy. And when the echo of this shock reverberates through your family line, when even generations not yet born walk in doors you unlocked, the world will know. Your story was never just about you. It was about rewriting history forever. And the question that lingers now, the one heaven leaves in your spirit, if your rise will shake generations not yet born, how much more will it shock the ones who thought they knew your ending? The answer will be revealed sooner than they expect. Chosen one, this is the moment creation itself has been waiting for. You are not stepping into a season. You are stepping into a prophecy fulfilled. This is not about proving anyone wrong. This is about proving that God was right when He called you, when He anointed you, when He set you apart, even while others overlooked you. You are not rising in the shadows, hidden from view. You are rising in the full light of heaven's glory, where every eye that saw your fall will now be forced to witness your ascension. Understand this. The same rooms that whispered your downfall will echo with silence as your victory unfolds. The same mouths that mocked you will be unable to speak when God reveals you.